So my friend Tiffany Corby introduced me to the Liberty Patch and the Freedom Patch. Um, and I have fibromyalgia and a lot of chronic pain. I have a lot of mental health issues. I was not able to lift my legs very high at all. And after I put the patch on, I can lift my legs high. I can walk down the stairs without being wobbly. My anxiety is horrible. And the peace patch, I wasn't looking around constantly or distracted like I normally am. My mother also has fibromyalgia, and she sometimes needs a walker because the pain is so bad. And I put it on her and she was in disbelief. She goes, "Move out of my way. I'm going to walk." So she walked and she did 2 squats and she needs knee replacements. She was squatting. It's crazy. And then my sister, who shot multiple times a couple years ago, has a plate and screws in her arm. And she had no burning whatsoever in her chest. That's residual pain. And she didn't have pain in her arm anymore.
Wow.
So a lot of, in the REM patch, my daughter's been using it, sleeping wonderful. Peace works awesome on my ADHD child. He's disabled by the state, so he has quite a bit going on. That helps him amazingly. And my mother also tried the REM patch and she has insomnia. She slept like a baby. For 2 days, she slept great.
Ashley, you've seen all of this firsthand.
Yes.
It's like you don't need a presentation. You just need to go out and tell your story to people and say, listen, this is what it's done for me. I guarantee you it can help you. Thank you so much for sharing with us here tonight. Crystal,
Yeah, no problem.
Crystal, jump in here.
Hello. So usually I come on here and I share a little bit about my testimony. I am a hot mess and it's been over a month since I've used my walker. I'm 35, disabled with MS, POTS. I have seizures. I have a whole bunch of stuff. But tonight I want to highlight something that I got to experience this last weekend. A few of my team and I went up and visited, surprised a friend, a teammate that was doing an event here, just basically a bunch of vendors just sitting around and showing off their products. And we surprised her by showing up there to show our love. And I thought we were like going to benefit her. And I didn't realize we were going to leave with our cups so full. There was a gal, her name was Gina, and I pray she's on this call because if she is, Gina, just unmute, like speak up. But she came up to us in a wheelchair. She's wheelchair bound all the time. And basically she's like, I'm in pain all the time. Nothing ever works for me, so on and so forth. Most of you know the spiel because you say it every day, right? And so we did the demo with the Liberty Patch, and I had the honor of helping her. She could barely stand when she first stood up. She was shaking. She almost fell over. We had 3 of us surrounding her, myself in front of her, a friend behind her. We were that concerned for her safety so that, she didn't fall. We put the patch on her. And I actually had to say to her, "You can sit down now." And a few minutes later, she looked at me. She instantly felt better, but it was like disbelief, I think, on her end. And a few minutes later, she looked at me and she said, "Hey, I want to go for a walk. Will you walk with me?" And I thought like the cool thing was to walk 20 steps with her, right? We walked 20 steps and she sat back in her chair and she felt so good. An hour or 2 later goes by and my team is yelling behind me and they're like, "Crystal, turn around, turn around, turn around." And I look at this, I turn around and I see this woman who's been wheelchair bound forever walking down the hallway to me. I'm getting chills. Walking down this mall hallway to me. And we have videos floating around, you guys. If you haven't seen it, get with the person who invited you so they can show you. But I turned around and I said, "What are you doing?" And she said, "Walking."
Just walking.
Just walking. You guys, it was just, I thought I was filling someone else's cup, and I realized that was a divine thing. It was just amazing. So I had to share.
And Crystal, how can you not share that story with everybody that you come in contact with? It's just like, let me tell you what happened today. Let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. You know what the problem is, guys? We've got so many darn stories, we don't know where to limit it. We just go on and on and on. Stephanie Taylor, jump in here.
Okay, I'll keep this short. I have had issues since 2020 with severe anxiety. I had an attack in 2020, and my friend Helena, who's on here, God bless her heart, introduced me to the patches. And within about a couple hours, because normally I'm wired for sound and stuff, but I've been using those the peace patch for about 2 months now since I've been a part of the family, and my whole body all the time just feels so relaxed, and it's amazing the difference it's made for me. And then this morning, for example, I was wide awake at 3:30 this morning, and so I was starting to drag because I had to work this morning. I'm an editor for a magazine, and I was just barely staying awake. And I went and grabbed the focus patch, which I still have on, and I've been wide awake and just given her all afternoon, and I feel fantastic. So it's like, yay!
Yeah, it's like nope. And it's so funny you say that, because people say I've got so much more energy with our patches, wearing the patches. Like, guys, we don't have an energy patch. We don't do anything for energy. It's because your body is in perfect alignment. It's running more efficiently, which means it gives you the effect that you have more energy.
Exactly. It's a blessing. It's a blessing, really.
Isn't that the truth? And I love it when people go, yeah, but how does it work? I'm like, I don't know. Close your eyes and hold out your hand. That's how it works. You got a pen in your hand. That's how I explain it. I don't know any other way to explain it. Because you know what, you guys? You know what? Nobody on this Zoom can tell me how ibuprofen works either. But it just does, right? Nobody knows how it works. So it's like, I'm just going with it. And I like the drug-free solution better. Ken Brown, jump in here.
Hi, Steve. Just a quick testimony. I've been sharing with lots of people the patches, and I had shared with a young lady, and she come back. Her mother has had MS for over 40 years, and she had got to the point to where she couldn't get out and work in the yard. She said she loved to work in the yard, and she was wheelchair bound, and so she was kind of stuck in the house. So she started wearing these patches, the Liberty patch, and she was wearing the Freedom patch to deal with pain. And she sent the testimony back to me and said, "Thank you, sir." That's how she started. She said, "Thank you, sir, for sharing this, because my mother now is able to have the quality of life that she's been looking for. She's been out in the yard, working in the yard, and it's just so amazing." I have so many testimonies, but that's one that just fills my heart. That's awesome.
I know. And it's like, you know what? You would do this for free if it would help people like that. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Carrie Helms, jump in here.
Okay, check this out, you guys. I have lots of parents that want to try Flow for their children with ADHD. Okay, and this is a story I'm going to read really quick. This is the first time her child has ever gone to school without ADHD meds, and she's just sick of it. So I'm just going to tell you exactly what she said. He said he felt good. He was able to deal with school, and he didn't even miss the meds. Girl, you don't even understand. If this continues to work, to have him off of Adderall is something I have been working towards since the day I put him on it. I have always struggled with it and felt like a failure to have to use meds for my kid. But he said, "Mom, I feel more like myself than I have in a long time."
Mic drop. Mic drop. Mic drop.
Nothing more needs to be said about what this does for kids with ADHD.
Kelly, jump in here. Thank you, Carrie. Kelly, jump in here.
Okay, real quick. I was with 2 associates today, and we were sharing the super patch with some people at a physical therapy place, and we met this woman. She was in her 70s, had multiple surgeries, is in pain every single day. She said her pain ranges at usually a level 3 to 7 on a scale of 1 to 10, and sometimes at 30. So just dealing with pain all the time. So we did the balance test. She definitely could see a difference. And, sometimes that reaction is, what is this? And so explaining that. And then we asked her, where are you having the most pain right now? And it was kind of between her shoulder blades underneath her neck. And so we put a pain patch on her, and literally within just a few minutes, she starts kind of moving her neck this way and that way. And she's like, I don't have any pain. And she just kind of starts doing this body check. And we were like, when was the last time that you didn't have pain? And she said, it's probably been over 20 years. So she's been dealing with pain for over 2 decades. So it was just an incredible thing to witness.
Yep, you throw a drug-free patch on her, and all of a sudden, within minutes, she says, my pain has gone away, which is unbelievable. Tamara, jump in here.
There's the unmute. Hi.
Hi, darling.
It took me a minute. I have suffered with chronic pain for the last 9 years. I woke up one day and I could no longer move. From chiropractors to doctoring to MRIs. I found out that I have extreme spinal stenosis, herniated discs, bone spurs, mild lumbar scoliosis, arthritis. It kind of goes on. I had a lot of pain and work done in the first 4 years, and then the doctors told me there's no more we can do for you until your nerves get pinched more or you get older.
Yeah.
So for 4 years after that, I have been dealing with pain management. Is all I could do. Take more opioids. Had to increase my gabapentin to the hard max. So after that, I didn't know what I was gonna do, to be honest. I'm just glad I don't have to deal with that anymore. I had a screw put in my back last December. I had my nerves cut out in my spine in August, and I still had pain to a point where I had to take gabapentin opioids 4 times a day. Got introduced to the Freedom Patch, and you bet I tested that out a little bit the first day. I kind of took a few less that day, and I didn't feel anything. I kind of vacuumed and I kind of pushed it a little bit. I started off with 12 gabapentin every single day. I'm down to 2.
Oh, gosh.
And the side effects that I know it brings is just breathtaking of what I've with the pain I don't have anymore. And the REM patch is another one of my favorites. Even I know pain doesn't allow you to sleep well, but I wake up so refreshed. And when 14 hours usually wasn't enough sleep for me because I'm so tired all the time, I wake up now after 7-8 hours and I'm like, whoa, haven't even woken up to my alarm. So it's been incredible, life-changing, absolutely life-changing for me. I was bedridden before those pills.
Yeah, and I heard that story this past week, and you look amazing. And just your smile, and I just want everybody to look very closely at her smile, because that tells you everything. If you know this girl and you see her smiling, you're like, I'll have what she's having. I'll have what she's having. And that's it. Hey, guys, we're going to go over just a few minutes here. Steven, jump in here, buddy. You'll be the last one for us tonight. Steven, jump in here.
Good evening, Steve. You might recognize my voice.
Hi, buddy. How are you tonight?
I am incredible. My story is you don't know what you have until you don't have it. I was using the Liberty patch because for the last year I've been very unsteady on my feet. Within 3 days, I have improved. I improved by some 80 to 90%.
Wow.
So that's the first good news. The second good news is about a month ago, I developed a major infection in one of my teeth, which ultimately ended up in an extraction. But with the pain in the tooth, I put the Freedom Patch on. Literally within 10 minutes, pain was gone. My extraction wasn't for almost 3 weeks. I had no pain during that time.
Wow.
Not as exciting a story as some of the ones that I've heard, and some of my personal friends have got incredible testimonies, but I'm hoping they'll be able to share with you one of these days. Oh, where did the you don't know what you have until you don't have it come from? I went in to visit family and friends in Toronto. I'm 120 miles away from there about 3 weeks ago. In the middle of the time that I had the Freedom Patch on my over my tooth, and of course I loaded the bear with all my patches to share with all family and friends. Came back 3 days later, and guess what wasn't in my suitcase, folks?
Uh-oh.
I suffered for 4 days until my sister expressed everything back to me. So you don't know what you have until you don't have it anymore, folks. Thanks.
Steven, I'm telling you something, buddy. It is impressive because it's your story.
Yeah.
It's impressive because it's your story. Listen, guys, I want to wrap this up. You never know who you're going to run into. And we have got some really, really big names that are joining our company. And I'll just tell you this story super fast. Kelly, you're going to be excited about this, Kelly. I had a three-way conversation with Nick Firestone this afternoon. And those of you who don't know who Nick Firestone is, Google Nick Firestone. If you know the last name, then you'll know who Nick is. Nick is the great-grandson of Harvey Firestone, who, he founded the Firestone Tire and Rubber Company. And Nick has been wearing our patches during his races. And Nick said to me today, he said, Steve, I will never get into a race car without these patches. He said, I wore that focus patch at my last race, and he said, I've never had the clarity that I've had, and I'm 57 years old. He said, we get beat up in those cars, and he does a lot of Baja racing through the deserts. In fact, he's getting ready for a 1,000-mile race through the desert, through the Baja of Mexico. And he just told me, he said, Steve, I'm telling all the drivers, get these focus patches on. He said, I know I'm giving them an edge, but he said, they're friends of mine. They're friends of mine. And he said, the way we get beat up in these cars, he said, those freedom patches are unbelievable. So people like Nick Firestone, you know, and I said, where are you racing this weekend? He goes, Steve, it's Indianapolis 500 day. I'm going to be at the Indianapolis 500. And he said, you know, with the name like Firestone, he said, there's been more winners Firestone has had more winners at Indy than all other tire companies combined. And he said, we weren't even there for 20 years. He goes, I gotta go to the Indianapolis 500. So you guys, this thing is big. This thing is bigger than we all probably think it is. And for $50 to become an associate, to get paid to go share it with other people, why are you not doing that? And I know some of you are like, Steve, if you just shut up, I'm going to go sign up right now. Scott, you're one of them. Craig, you're one of them. Patsy, you're one of them. We've got guests all over this Zoom here tonight. So I'm going to encourage you guys to get together with the person who invited you here tonight. Do not go to sleep with a question. There's not a single question that we do not have an answer to. These stories are real. None of these people knew they were going to be called on tonight. I didn't know who was going to give testimonials, but stories sell, you guys. And it is by far the greatest program that I've been involved in the past 33 years. So with that being said, if you're joining us here tonight, like I know you are, let me be the first to welcome you to the Super Patch Company. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for sharing, everyone.